over the course of the past couple of years, especially in doing these podcasts, I have really expressed an awful lot of pessimism where it concerns the United States of America and not the physical United States of America. It's like Leonard Cohen said, I love the country, but I can't dig the scene. That's kind of, that's precisely where I find myself. The cultural milieu that we're involved in right now is one that is horrifying to me, sad, destructive. We need leadership, and we don't have any. We need millions of us to wake up and understand what we're faced in terms of global warming or the political chaos out of which is going to emerge fascism that we're experiencing right now. And it just seems like it's not going to happen, the awakening part. In the meantime, the tragedies that have come to define the United States continue. I'm surprised that we haven't had a mass killing in the past 24, 48, 72 hours. Maybe we have, and it just got subsumed by the William Barr report on what Robert Mueller found in his 2-year-long investigation. However, something did pop up yesterday that reaffirmed, and I hate to use that word because it sounds positive, reaffirmation, and this is not positive at all. But what popped up yesterday to reaffirm my pessimism and fear and a nurturing for an idea that's been developing in my head for quite some time now. And that's the idea of just moving out of this country altogether. We could do that if we chose to. It would be very disruptive in terms of Molly's life, and to a lesser degree, but still considerable disruption to Kathy's life because of all her volunteer work and her work as a real estate agent and Girl Scout divisional leader and so on and so forth. Me, I can do what I do any place on earth as long as I have a modem and a uplink and a word processor or laptop. But I've been thinking about it a lot lately because I truly do believe that our political system has been beaten and fractured and destroyed so badly over the past 25 or 30 years. Decisions about who we elect are made by Christian crazy people and corporate America. The thing that popped up yesterday that reaffirmed this sick feeling that I have is the news that Jeremy Richman had committed suicide. Who's Jeremy Richman? Well, I didn't know either. Jeremy Richman is the father, or I guess the past tense would be more appropriate now, was the father of a 6-year-old little girl named Aviella, who was murdered in the massacre at the Sandy Hook Elementary School 6 years ago. In those 6 years, Jeremy Richman had devoted his life to preventing families from experiencing the kind of tragic loss that he did. His wife, Jennifer Hensel, and he created what they called the Aviella Fund, named after his daughter, Avielle. The foundation was created to support research into brain abnormalities that could be linked to violent behavior. And in this endeavor, he stressed mental health education, and compassion. That sort of reaction is so far beyond my ability to even comprehend. I would not be capable of that. And I freely admit it. I've said before, that's probably because I am not yet, maybe never, an enlightened human being. Had Molly been 6 years old and gunned down by someone who was deemed mentally unstable and unbalanced and yada, 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 who then took his own life, I would not have had the centering or the presence to then devote my life to a foundation named after Molly. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I know that. What would have happened to me? I'm not sure, but I know it would not have been good or positive. I might have decided to do what Jeremy Richman did, and that is to commit suicide. Mr. Richman, who in fact was a neuroscientist, said in a video that he put together for the Avielle Foundation the following, quote, "Compassion is the ability to feel someone else's suffering, to empathize. But most importantly," he said, "it's the hope that you can do something to alleviate that suffering." Now, that was part of the mission statement of the Avielle Foundation that he and his wife had put together after the killing by apparently a very sick mind of his daughter and 21 other kids and adults. And again, I know, you come to a point in your life, or you should, where you know yourself. And I know that I could not have done that. I couldn't have refocused. And if I read this right, Mr. Richman had to refocus away from the loss of his little girl and onto the healing of people who were similar to the person who killed his little girl. Now, immediately I can see the higher level that sort of devotion rests. I say higher level because it's beyond my reach. On Monday, yesterday, Mr. Richman, who was 49, he was 43 when his daughter was murdered. He was found dead in an apparent suicide in the building in Newtown, Connecticut, where the Avielle Foundation had an office. This is according to the local police there. This is the third suicide in the past short period of time of people who, one way or the other, survived a school slaughter. Third suicide. So the score ticks up. The high school slaughter is no longer 17, it's now 19. The elementary school slaughter is no longer 22. I'm sorry. It's no longer 26. It's now 27. And I saw an interview on television yesterday with a couple of the students who were classmates of the high school kids who were gunned down. And the two students that were interviewed were young women, and they made a couple of statements that I thought were very revealing, not necessarily about them, although they were revealing about the two girls, but also revealing about where we are in this country. And those two students said that after last year's slaughter in Parkland, Florida, and the subsequent two suicides recently of young girls, one who had graduated from Parkland, and I believe one who was still a student, what these two girls said in the interview was they expect more suicides. Well, open your mic, and people can't hear you if you're just talking to me. What?
I tweeted about this, actually. I think probably what happened is they saw what happened in New Zealand and how quickly
I was getting to that.
the Prime Minister banned assault rifles, and we still live in a country where we value guns more than children, where we worship the NRA. And it doesn't matter how many 6-year-olds are slaughtered or teachers. And we have a president who says the reason they were killed is because the teachers didn't have assault rifles.
Yeah. But the two high school girls from Parkland, Florida made it very clear that they expect more. I don't know if there will be more suicides as a result of what happened at Parkland, but one thing I can assure you, there will be more Parklands. There will be more slaughter. It's not going to stop. It will never stop. Not in this country. And the reasons are obvious. We have a murderous organization that is one of the controlling factors of the U.S. Congress. And whatever pig president happens to be in the Oval Office. The NRA. So it will not change. It doesn't make any difference how many children are butchered so that cowardly men can own their assault weapons. It doesn't matter. 100, 1,000, 10,000. It makes no difference. And the thing that is beyond irony and into psychosis, I guess, or some sort of psychopathology, is the fact that the very same people who refuse to pass laws governing gun possession are the same miserable, rotten sons of bitches who will tell you they're against abortion because it's killing babies. Same people. Same fucking people. We don't care if 6 and 7 and 14 and 15-year-olds are slaughtered by the hundreds. We don't care, they say. What we do care about is a fucking fetus about this, not even a fetus, a zygote about the size of a thumbnail. That we care about. That has no explanation that is rational. None. Because it isn't rational. In a statement from the Aviel Foundation, it was said, quote, "Our hearts are shattered and our heads are trying to comprehend regarding the death of Jeremy Richman." The statement went on, "Tragically, his death speaks to how insidious and formidable a challenge brain health can be and how critical it is for all of us to seek help for ourselves, our loved ones, and anyone who we suspect may be in need." I can't get myself around that. I can't. I don't see the slaughter of children as a result of an unhealthy brain. I see the slaughter of children as a result of the availability of guns. Like I said, I'm not as elevated spiritually or neurologically as Jeremy Richman was. And I don't say that in a snarky way. I mean it. I'm just not there. But I know this about me. I will never get there. I don't know how Jeremy Richman did. I don't know how black folk are able to forgive the white terrorists in this country, the white devils who continue to kill them, maim them, butcher them. And after the murder of the 9 people at a prayer meeting in Charleston, South Carolina, the, quote, black community, end quote, was so quick to forgive. I'm not there either. And I won't get there. Ever. The Jews who had to deal with the slaughter of people in their synagogue, who were there to pray, who then issued statements of forgiveness. No, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. The Muslims in this country and now in New Zealand and other places who have been slaughtered in Myanmar, in India, wherever, who are able somehow through their imams to issue a statement of forgiveness. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I want whatever rage I feel about gun ownership and the subsequent slaughter that comes from it, I want that rage to stay in me, alive, furious, fiery. No, it's not taking years off my life. Not me. The police were called Monday to Edmond Town Hall. It's a movie theater and event space that also rents offices and meeting rooms. The cops were called about 7 a.m. on Monday by contractors who were working there, according to the Newtown Police Department. When they arrived, the police found a note left by Mr. Richman. The lieutenant who was responsible for this tragedy, responsible for investigating this tragedy, did not disclose what the note said. That police lieutenant said only that the police and the state medical examiner were investigating the death and all aspects of the death, which of course includes the note. And then the facts. Here are the facts. Mr. Richman's death came more than 6 years after a gunman stormed Sandy Hook Elementary School, killing Aviel, who was 6, and 25 other people before turning the gun on himself. The massacre on December 14th, 2012, thrust Newtown into the caustic national debates on gun control and mental health. Let me pause there. National debate on gun control. What has happened since 2012, December 14th, regarding gun control? Nothing. Nothing. Oh, but wait, Mike, what about the bump stock law passed by Congress the other day? Horseshit. Bump stocks are no longer legal. If you have one, you got to get rid of it or turn it in, and you can't buy one anymore. But some rotten, filthy, slimy NRA person or their attendant Klan-loving white supremacists will soon, if not done already, put on the internet absolutely clear instructions on how to make one with your printer. So no, not a single effort has been made by the white supremacist Christian lawmakers who will do anything to defend, so they say, a zygote the size of your thumbnail. But where it concerns protecting the lives of children, fuck no. Hey, Truth Seekers, Mike Malloy here on the Progressive Voices Network. We've got a deal for you. You can now subscribe to our new 1-hour audio-video combination Malloycast for only $29 a year. But you have to act fast. This deal ends on tax day, April 15th. Since we're without any business managers now, 100% of your support goes directly to maintaining our nightly campfire. Visit MikeMalloy.com to renew or to subscribe. And thank you for all the ways you keep it lit.